Take us away. Come on. Woo-hoo-hoo! Let's go. Let's get into it. Let's get excited and hyped up and energized. I'm wearing a Simpsons t-shirt.
So you are.
McBain.
Nice.
Let's do this.
I'm not.
No.
Wearing a Batman t-shirt under this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Welcome back to Insert Brain Ear, a Simpsons podcast. I'm your host, David. With me, as always, is my co-host, Connor.
Hello.
That sounded a bit shaky there, Connor.
Hello.
I'm not holding him against his will. So today we're going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 9, Itchy and Scratchy and Marge, which is the original air date, 20th of December, 1990.
Yes, it is.
Almost at Christmas time again. For Simpsons, when the original air
For them,
date.
not for us. It's February.
Yeah. For we're really going through them, aren't we?
Or March. Yeah. Whenever this goes out, it's February or March.
It's March,
June.
probably.
David, do you have something you want to ask me?
Would you be able to give us a rundown on what this episode's about?
David, I would be honoured to give you a rundown on what this episode was about. The Simpsons.
I'm glad.
This episode of The Simpsons is about Marge is making some steaks, and Homer says, I'll make you a spice rack, the iconic Simpsons spice rack that people have duplicated and replicated and made versions of over the years. Mm-hmm. Maybe the worst spice rack in all of media.
Probably is.
In his little basement mystery room, he's making the spice rack, and Maggie hits him on the head with a mallet.
Yeah.
Knocks him out.
Yeah.
In a replication of a scene from Psycho. Mm-hmm. And Margie's like, what could cause Maggie to do this? And she sees Maggie watching a violent episode of Itchy and Scratchy, and Maggie grabs a knife and...
Pencil. Grabs a pencil. The knife.
Emulating the knife from the episode, and tries to attack Homer. She's like, of course, TV is the problem, it's cartoons that are the issue.
Yep.
So she writes a letter to Itchy and Scratchy and starts campaigning them after they respond to her letter in a not-so-kind manner.
Yeah.
Call her a screwball.
Yeah.
So she gathers some people and she starts haranguing Itchy and Scratchy International.
Mm-hmm. Outside their gates, yeah.
Outside their gates, gathers more and more people, and eventually goes on TV on Newsline with Kent Brockman. Mm-hmm. And after people hear Marge out on the TV, all these parents in Springfield decide, I'm going to side with Marge. We're all going to write letters of hatred to Itchy and Scratchy International.
Yeah.
And Roger Meyer Jr., who's the head of Itchy and Scratchy, has to take all the violence out of the cartoon and make it Itchy and Scratchy loving friends.
Yeah.
Like Care Bears or My Little Pony, something like that.
Yeah.
And because
but with less violence.
With even less violence. I'm talking classic My Little Pony from the 80s. I'm not talking about whatever that...
I don't
know.
The
bronies and I'm not talking about any of that, right?
Yeah.
And I never will.
No.
And as a result, all the kids are like, I don't want to watch this cartoon. And they all go outside and they're enjoying the magic of their youth. They're having a beautiful time outside. They're fishing, they're bird watching, they're fence painting, they're swinging around in a big tire or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Michelangelo's David
comes
to Springfield from wherever it is, Italy, France, something like that, Europe.
Yeah.
And people are like, let's protest this. Marge, come and protest it with us because you inspired us to protest Itchy and Scratchy. Mm. And Marge is like, no, I like Michelangelo's David. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a piece of art. Mm. Which ties into some later Marge appearances where she was a promising artist before she met Homer and got impregnated.
Yeah.
And because Marge goes in the news and she says that Michelangelo's David shouldn't be censored, Itchy and Scratchy is returned to its previous state.
Yes.
And all's well that ends well, right back to where we started.
Yep. A nice empty outdoor Springfield, everyone's sitting in...
All the kids are back inside watching Itchy and Scratchy, and it's nice and violent again.
Yep.
Swift recap.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Recap might be getting cut soon, I don't know. I'm on the verge of cutting that segment entirely. or spicing it up or something, because right now it's a real pain in the arse. And I think it stops people from enjoying this show.
Fair enough.
I think if you're a new listener and you open up the podcast and it's like 5 minutes of someone telling you what the episode was about, people are switching off.
Probably.
Especially if you're doing the recap and it's 25 minutes.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. David, what did you think of this episode of The Simpsons?
I thought it was good. I liked it.
Yeah, I love this episode.
I really like this episode.
I think it's the funniest episode we've watched so far.
Yes.
And that's mainly because more than 50% of the episode is just different Itchy and Scratchy animations.
Yes, it is.
Regardless of whether... Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, no. I'm guessing regardless of whether or not it was the violent ones.
Regardless of whether or not it was the hyper-violent ones or it was the
hyper-loving
love
things.
And care and love and share. love, share. Amazing. That is... and I always assume that's a later season joke because it would be kind of lampooning what Itchy and Scratchy are in the earlier seasons.
Yeah.
They've got these big, like, disgusting, diluted love pupils. Like talking to each other.
They've all of a sudden they've got these really pretty eyelashes and shit as well.
Yeah,
aye. Fucking hell.
I made it just for you.
Yeah, God, sickening.
You were going to say something.
So I was just going to go along the lines of, it was a great episode. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was, I thought the main sort of like gag, I guess, was the fact that, if you took away all the violent cartoons and life would be like before television, essentially. And everyone would be outside and enjoying themselves and having fun.
Yeah.
Not that would genuinely be the case, even remotely.
Not now. Maybe in 1990. Because what are you going to do?
Maybe in 1990. Maybe
you're going to play a video game on the NES or the SNES or whatever was out then? Sega Mega Drive?
Yeah, it probably would. Yeah.
You could play Sonic.
Yeah.
When did Sonic come out?
But I think that I think a lot of people, especially in 1990, adults and kids alike, were all at maybe the stage where
Sonic the Hedgehog came out in 1991.
Oh,
so
right.
you couldn't play.
So you
at this
couldn't
point.
play Sonic. You'd be playing Bubsy or something, or Bugsy.
Bubsy was after Sonic.
Bubsy was he after Sonic?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Fair
You'd be playing Mario,
or
if you had the Sega Mega Drive, you'd be playing nothing. When did this? Wait a minute. Am I fucked? When did the Sega Mega? When did this? Yeah. Sega Mega Drive or Sega Genesis, if you're a little bitch.
Fucking Jesus.
Came out in 1989.
Fucking hell. There goes the last of the audience.
Yeah, Sega Genesis or Mega Drive came out in 1989. Fun fact, it's only called the Genesis in North America.
Oh, right. Okay. America.
What were you saying? You were saying something. You don't think the kids would actually go outside?
More poignant, I guess. But I don't think that would. I don't think that was maybe how it would actually go down. But I think that kids and adults alike, at the time that this would have come out, especially, I think we're all very much. That wasn't that long ago, where everyone was out and about, actually doing this kind of stuff. Hell, even in after 1990.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was still out and about all the time and things like that. So I think it would be a very much this is within very recent memory or active memory of a lot of people watching this, would be like, those are the days.
I think that's just a constant thing though. I think
probably.
It's like if you asked people who were kids at the time, older than us I'm talking about.
Yeah.
People who are like Gen
We
X.
weren't born at the time. 1990, mate.
No, we were not. People who were like 10 in 1990, I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think they would recollect that their childhood in that year was like the last time that people really played outside. But I think if you asked the generation after them, which is us, we might say the same.
Yeah.
And if you asked the generation before them, they would also say the same. I think it's one of those constant things.
Yeah, I think it is.
It was a philosopher, I can't remember their name. Maybe I'll insert it here when I'm editing if I remember.
Yeah.
The Roman poet and philosopher Horace.
Who said something about like every generation critiques the generation that's coming after them as being dumber or worse or the last, or they're the last good generation and the next generation is shit. And it's just like it's a true constant even now.
Yeah. I think there's I don't know if it's the same person, but there's also someone that pointed out about the fact that every every generation, I think it probably isn't the same person actually, but someone maybe built on that concept.
Yeah.
And pointed out the fact that every generation is also the one that's accepting enough, and anyone after that, any generation after that is too accepting. And every generation prior to that is not accepting enough.
Yes, it's every generation before me was horrible.
Yes.
I'm the right level of accepting of the people who are... I think our generation are very accepting.
I think so.
Maybe I'm
as
proving
a concept.
the theory.
Yeah,
I think like the generation before us would be they were like, well, we were accepting of gay people.
Yes.
And the generation before us wasn't, but we're not accepting of trans people, say.
Yeah.
And I think our generation are.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see how the next generation are going to look at us. What thing are we outdated about? What belief do we have, or thing that we...
or something you use. There are many things that used to be said.
Yes.
And were accepted as normal. We're not going to give any examples.
No, of course not.
Right now. But there are many things that were not said in like hate or things like that.
Aye.
And they were, as a general rule, specifically geared towards that. It would be something like a moderate level slur, but calling someone a dickhead was just as bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
it's like you would say, when we were young, you would say like, if something was bad, you would maybe be like, oh, that's gay.
Yeah.
And I think it's good that that's not something that people say now.
Yeah.
But I don't think the intent behind it for a lot of kids, I don't think was specifically homophobic. I think it was just...
Yeah, it was just, I don't know, maybe just like a phase.
Or like a learned phrase that you kind of...
Yeah.
You don't really... You soak it in through the culture, but and hearing other people say it, but you don't really think when you're a kid what the implication of associating the word gay with bad is. Really, you know?
I think we did more psychology on this fucking episode than Dr. Marvin did in this episode.
Yeah, Dr. Marvin Monroe's back in this episode. I hate that character. I thought we were done with him. I thought he was gone.
Yeah.
I groaned audibly when he showed up.
Yes, you did. His fucking facial hair is just something
he's a
awful.
season 1 character who shouldn't show up outside the season 1. And the voice is annoying as well.
Yeah.
I've mentioned this every time he shows up. I'm like, that fucking voice.
But anyway.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Yep.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. David, that is the sound of the theme for Ion Springfield, the segment of this show where we cover characters who've made their first appearance in this episode.
Very good.
David, first appearance of Sideshow Mel.
Sideshow Mel, yes. I did clock that they had the different Sideshow gentlemen.
It's also Sideshow Bob is gone in prison.
Yes.
I like Sideshow Mel's design.
Yeah.
He's not talking yet. He's still just using the slide whistle, which is interesting that Sideshow Bob was introduced in season 1 and the idea was going to be that he would always use the slide whistle to talk. And then they gave him a voice and it was like a very thespian, British, American theatre actor voice in Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
And then Sideshow Mel is introduced here and he only talks with his slide whistle.
Yeah.
But later when they give him a voice, they do the same joke, which is that he has the voice of like a thespian actor.
Right.
Like it's the same joke twice, really.
Yeah.
But Sideshow Mel is obviously never a killer or anything. He is still Krusty's assistant, his Sideshow.
Yeah.
Now in season 34, 5, whatever.
Whatever we're on.
I actually had to Google to double check before because we sat down and I looked at my notes and I saw Sideshow Mel and I was like, I can't remember him being in the episode. That's what I was Googling. I was Googling first appearance of Sideshow Mel to double check.
All right. You could have asked. I actually remembered that.
Oh, damn. I think you were getting water or something.
Oh, yeah, fair.
First appearance of Roger Myers Jr.
All right, that'd be the owner of Itchy and Scratchy International.
Yes. Who I don't think he is voiced by a celebrity guest actor or anything.
All right.
Oh, no, he is. Sorry, he is. But he sounds like Michael Keaton to me.
Yes.
It's not Michael Keaton.
Right.
It sounds like Michael Keaton or James Caan, a little bit like James Caan.
Yeah.
but it isn't either of those actors.
Right. Who is it that plays him? Or voices him, sorry.
It's Alex Rocco, who's probably best known for his appearance as Mo Green in The Godfather.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's...
Wow. Yeah, I didn't...
He gets shot in the head at the end of the film. Spoiler alert for The Godfather. Whatever. Watch The Godfather.
Yeah.
Come on.
If you haven't seen it by now...
Come on.
You're probably not old enough, if that's the only thing.
Not old enough to listen to this podcast.
Yeah, definitely not.
First appearance of Roger Myers Sr.
When the hell did he rock up? Was he just a portrait or something?
I think he's a portrait, or he's a statue, or he's like a... Maybe he's not in it.
When the hell did he rock up?
I know he's canonically dead at this point. He's like the Walt Disney of Itchy and Scratchy.
Yeah.
So he's been dead for a long time.
Right.
It's obviously his son that's taken over.
There was probably a picture in the background of him.
Roger Myers Sr. does not appear in this episode. Oh Jesus, oh Christ. Oh God. Put a big fucking, put the audio in, put it in. Wrong-o. Put it in right here.
Fucking hell.
Wrong. You're wrong.
Slap the word wrong on my head in big red bold letters. If this was a video podcast, I would have the word wrong slap onto my face. First appearance of Janie's mom.
Right.
Lisa is at Janie's house, evading.
Oh, yeah, she wanders past, and she or something.
Walks by in the background.
Yeah.
I think first and last appearance of Janie's mom.
I would imagine, yeah.
I'm sure she shows up in like crowd shots with Janie or like at parent-teacher conferences or something, but first appearance of Corporal Punishment.
Yeah, the big buff army dude on Krusty's show.
He threatens the
crowd.
Yeah. Yep.
Very
what
good.
Did you think of Corporal Punishment? Those side characters on Krusty's show have been they get kind of phased out. There's Corporal Punishment and there's a big fat ballerina.
Oh yes.
There's Mr. Teeny, who's the monkey who's still around. But all those other side characters just phased out to the point where it's just Mel, Krusty, and Teeny.
I kind of like this. I like this gag of Corporal Punishment rocking up to basically assault rifle the crowd.
Yeah,
that's probably why he goes away.
Probably,
most likely because it's too much of a real thing in America.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
I like the idea of Krusty's show having a bunch of random, because it's the kind of thing that real world example Pee-wee's Playhouse would have.
Yeah.
Laurence Fishburne, famous actor Laurence Fishburne, got his start on Pee-wee's Playhouse. He was a cowboy character who wore pink.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, two of his first appearances.
There's quite a few people that were in like that. I never actually thought about it, and then I was like, "Oh, wait a minute! That's where I know them from, or knew them from as a kid."
Yeah,
on like.
Or Mr. Rogers.
Disney's Playhouse or some shit.
Yeah, or something like that. Sesame Street.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Laurence Fishburne, like two of his first appearances, it was Pee-wee's Playhouse doing that, and A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's do a podcast where we cover Laurence Fishburne's career.
That'd be a good one.
Call it Deep Cover with Boys in the Hood, because those are two movies that Laurence Fishburne was in.
That's a good. That's
name
a good double
another
entendre.
Name another Laurence Fishburne movie. You're off
Matrix.
The podcast. All right, there we go. The Matrix. Good job. Yeah,
there we go. I got there.
I think he was also in King of New York with Christopher Walken.
So he was.
And he's in that show Blackish.
I don't know.
He's in an episode of The Muppets from 2011. Or no, not to mid-2010s.
Right.
AMC's The Muppets, where it was like a mockumentary.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
You seem to be a little bit less enthusiastic.
That was Ion Springfield. David, do you want to talk about something else, or do you want to dive right into 3 Blind Mice trivia?
Fuck it, let's dive in.
3. I'm not doing that anymore. Fuck it. Yeah. This is 3 Blind Mice trivia, the trivia segment where we talk about trivia for this episode. Trivia.
Yes.
A clip from this episode is featured in which 2001 film, David? Sometimes I turn trivia into a question halfway through when I'm saying it just to fuck David over. What 2001 movie featured a clip from this episode of The Simpsons?
Give me a clue.
No.
Fucking give me a clue.
It stars Forrest Whitaker.
Thanks.
Is that not a good clue? Forrest Whitaker?
I'm not you. I don't know.
Name a Forrest Whitaker movie from 2001. From the early 2000s. Don't say like Star Wars Rogue One, because that came out in 2016.
Yeah. I have no fucking clue.
Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai.
Is that the movie?
What?
Is that the movie that this clip was in?
Yes, that's the movie. That's why I named it.
Seriously?
A clip from this episode is featured in the 2001 Jim Jarmusch movie Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai, and in the 2017 documentary 7852. It's a documentary about the shower scenes from Psycho, which this episode parodies.
Yeah, there's no hope in hell I was ever getting that movie.
You've not seen Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai?
No.
You would love that movie. It's about Forrest Whitaker plays like a kind of a monk who lives in New York, who's also like a samurai, but he loves hip hop.
All right.
It's fucking incredible. You would love it.
Fair enough.
No,
I've never seen it.
Oh, look it up.
I will.
I have it on DVD somewhere, but I can't dig it out.
Yeah.
During the original airing of the episode, the Fox satellite blew out and the entire west coast of the United States missed the first act of the episode.
Huh.
That couldn't happen now, could it? Do people still use satellites? I feel like in 2017-ish, they just stopped using satellites. Everything's the internet now.
Mm-hmm. So,
let's not get into it because we don't have enough time.
Right, fair enough. I was going to say,
if you want to do an explanation, you can record it separately later on.
Right,
and I'll edit it in.
That's fine.
This story was partially inspired by Terry Raccolta, who campaigned against Fox for airing the show Married with Children.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
The music heard while the children play outside is the first movement of Beethoven's Pastoral Symphony.
It's an awesome piece of music.
It is an incredible piece of music, and its use here is actually a reference to the movie Soylent Green.
All right.
The 1970s film with Charlton Heston.
Right.
You know the scene where the guy goes to the human euthanization facility?
Yes, yeah.
And as he's being euthanized, they play like lovely scenic imagery. It's in a world where there's no nature left.
Yeah.
There's no animals. And they play all this like old like archival footage.
Yeah.
Beautiful scene. A really great film.
Yeah.
Check out Soylent Green if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Nelson can be seen painting a fence dressed like Tom Sawyer when the children are playing outside. I knew that was a reference to some sort of a book or something.
I couldn't think of what it was to do with.
Fans had been clamouring for an Itchy and Scratchy episode prior to this.
Really? Nice.
I don't blame them. I would love to see more Itchy and Scratchy all the time.
Yeah.
Give them their own show on Disney Plus. I feel like you couldn't give them their own show before because how would it fit into a time slot on standard TV?
True.
We live in a world of streaming now.
Mm-hmm.
Just put it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
There are several characters who work at Itchy and Scratchy Studios who are caricatures of real people.
Yeah.
The cartoonist who draws the Marge squirrel is based on Eddie Fitzgerald, who worked at Filmation, and the 3 people with Roger Myers, when he's asking Marge for suggestions, are caricatures of Rich Moore, David Silverman, and Wes Archer.
Oh, nice.
The episode was directed by Jim Reardon, who previously directed the violent animated short film Bring Me the Head of Charlie Brown.
Okay.
At the end of Marge's appearance on Nightline, Kent Brockman asks if she has any thoughts in the 9 seconds we have left. Her response is exactly 9 seconds long.
Yeah, I thought about that when I was watching it. I was like, that's actually... There's one of two things that's happening. She was going to start getting talking. I couldn't remember exactly from watching it before. She was either going to start talking and start building up to something, and it's going to cut.
Yeah.
At just before what she's wanting to say, or she's actually going to make it in the 9 seconds. And I was like, that was nicely concise and well done.
Mm-hmm.
And I prefer it with the fact that she actually got what she wanted to say in there as opposed to that gag just thrown in there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Matt Groening and his friends used to watch Tom and Jerry as kids and fantasize about an ultraviolet version of the show.
All right.
I love Tom and Jerry.
I love Tom and Jerry too.
Let's do a Tom and Jerry podcast.
Yes.
Krusty was originally intended to be illiterate, and this was eventually dropped.
That makes sense. He was holding the letter upside down.
Yeah, he's trying to read that letter and he's
around.
twisting the paper. It's a good visual gag, and I think it still works without making Krusty illiterate. But
yeah.
The music that plays when the kids discover the outdoors after abandoning Itchy and Scratchy is the Going Home score from Soylent Green. It was conducted... Oh, hold on a second. It's not just the Beethoven theme. It's something else. It was conducted by Gerald Fried and consists of the main themes from Symphony No. 6 by Tchaikovsky, Symphony No. 6 Pastoral by Beethoven, and Peer Gynt's Morning Wood and Ace's Death by Edvard Grieg.
Oh, so it's like four pieces
of music
put together.
There we go.
That's awesome.
That's wonderful.
Nice.
That's the end of 3 Blind Mice trivia.
Perfect.
That's the closing of my laptop.
Which signifies the end of all things.
Yes. Signifies the end of me being able to open the laptop again.
Yes.
Because it's held together with tape.
Yes, it is.
I wish Marge's squirrel
had more of a...
I like what her appearance in this episode, fine. I wish that was a character that appeared in Itchy and Scratchy just randomly in the future.
Yeah.
Which is, funnily enough, when Homer voices the character, Poochie, in Itchy and Scratchy for an episode.
Yeah.
That character appears in future episodes. He just pops up like in Itchy and Scratchy cartoons randomly.
I wish they'd done something like that with Marge's
It would be
squirrel.
really funny to have the Marge
just
squirrel.
Just a buzzkill squirrel.
And Homer's Poochie character.
Yeah.
Like, both in Bart's favourite cartoon.
Yeah. That would have been pretty good. Yeah. Oh, can you remember what SNA is?
You're a son of a gun. I'm going to edit that out. David, can you remember what SNA stands for?
I asked you first.
No. That's been edited out. You never said that thing.
Springfieldians, I think it is.
Springfieldianites. SNA is Springfieldianites.
I think it's just Springfieldians.
No, it's Springfieldianites.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is it again? SNUH?
Yeah.
No.
Is it Springfieldians or Springfieldianites for non-violence and...
Hold on a second, I have to Google this now.
Understanding and helping. Or some shit.
Maybe.
That seems like it might fit.
Simpsons SNA meaning. Springfieldians for non-violence, understanding and helping.
Holy shit, did I just get that? Because I said it's Springfieldians as well.
I did say Springfield. It's Springfieldianites in different episodes.
Right, so Springfieldians
for non-violence, understanding and helping.
I got that right.
It's going to be hard to edit that to make it look like I was in the right, let me tell you.
Yeah, I know.
But I'll manage it.
Oh, I know. You'll spend all week doing that.
There we go.
Nice.
What else we're going to talk about?
So most TV is most likely now not broadcast by Ariel.
No. We're not doing this. We're not actually talking about TVs and aerials and the internet.
I can't fucking think of anything else. Shit.
David, what's your one bit of animation that you actually... David, what's your one bit of animation that you actually quite liked in this episode? I have mine ready to go.
I already know what mine is, and that is the scene with
Soylent Green scene.
Yes,
that's mine as well.
Exactly
that is
right.
a beautiful
I figured
scene.
that would be the case with yourself. It's a beautiful piece of music. It's absolutely a lovely piece of animation. It's a sort of dystopian, warped reality shape going on with it as well.
I wouldn't say dystopian. I think dystopian implies...
Well, no, sorry, not dystopian, but like a bit of a warped sort of, in a nice way, reality going on with it, because you've got that sort of, what's the inverse of a fisheye lens? So the inverse of that, where it points the corners out like out, away,
a concave lens.
Yeah, something like that.
Concave is
yeah. That would be the inverse. So yes,
a kind of concave
like that sort
lens
of
where it's
thing where
thicker
everything in the middle
outside.
is like closer like this. Or is
that would be a fisheye lens.
That would be a fisheye lens. Okay, no, never mind. Yes, okay. So a fisheye lens sort of view on everything that's going on, because I don't know if you noticed, but with the whatever was in the center, so when the swings are in the center, they're much bigger and kind of closer.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's a very cool.
Kind of,
and it's all
around.
done to make it look like it's one continuous panning shot as well.
Yes, yeah.
Which
is really good.
They've even had things come towards the camera like a feature film would to hide cuts. Or edits.
Yeah, like the kite and stuff like that. Like the kite
which
comes
they
into
don't need to do, but it makes it...
But it makes it really nice, makes it really smooth. And you don't give a fuck about the fact that for 2 whole seconds there's a red kite covering your camera.
Yeah.
You're just staring at a red kite listening to music. But the music's really, really soothing and really nice.
Should that be the theme for the podcast?
I think that could be. I think we like it enough that should be
outro
the
theme. That's the outro theme.
Oh, that'd be nice.
And we'll see if
no one's going to listen to the outro theme.
Well, I'll play while we're doing the outro.
Right, okay, that's fine.
We can see if we can get that cleared. I don't know if that's copyrighted music. It might be owned by whoever owns the rights to the movie Soylent Green.
Maybe.
I'll do some research into that, but
yeah,
keep your ears peeled for that one.
We just need to be mindful of who's performing it and when, largely. As long as the piece itself or the score is old enough.
Yes.
Then we just need to be mindful of who and when.
I think that would be really funny to have like a lovely piece of classical music as the outro to this piece of shit podcast.
I think so.
That is such a beautiful bit of animation. And I love how it uses all the Springfield Elementary School child character models.
Yes.
Several of which are character models who've like popped up briefly in the past. Like remember the episode where Homer was learning how to box in the Lisa's Sad episode? He's learning how to box on the video game.
Yeah.
And there's the cool kid at the arcade. He's in this scene.
Yes, he is. Oh, man.
That's such a cool little... I love when the show does that, where it's like, just throw these... like it makes it feel like Springfield is a real town.
Yes.
Like it could exist somewhere out there. Yeah. That's wonderful.
I like it. It's good.
It's been a good episode.
Yeah.
And of our podcast as well. It's been a short episode, but it's been a good one. It has been
a short episode.
Sometimes short is good.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't need to talk for 2 hours about an episode of The Simpsons. And then edit it down to 1 hour and 25 minutes. Sometimes you don't need to.
Sometimes, yeah. Definitely.
The only thing I can think of for Boyish Europe, someone got fired for that blunder.
Yes, you found one this time.
Which is the segment of our show in which we highlight some errors or grievances that we have with the episode.
Yeah.
Not personal.
Usually like animation side of things, or like coloring or
incorrect information being presented.
Yeah.
Krusty's hair at 2 points in this episode is a bright green, sort of similar to the Joker's hair in the Batman comic books.
Yeah. Or Jim Carrey's Joker. Isn't his hair green? No, his hair's...
Jim Carrey has never played the Joker, you absolute clown. Jim Carrey was the Riddler.
Oh, fucking hell, so he did. I'm sorry. That's my bad.
God, what
the
a
Riddler.
Fucking...
And he didn't even have green hair.
Boyish Europe, someone got fired from this podcast.
He had a green suit and it was orange hair, wasn't it?
Yeah, he has like dyed red hair.
Yeah.
And a green suit.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson was the Joker in that universe.
Wasn't that?
Yeah. Batman 89.
Yeah.
I could do a Star Wars podcast. I was thinking about this the other day. If we did an episode of a show talking about the Phantom Menace, I think I could talk for at least several hours just about that movie.
Oh, I know you could.
It
would be you and me going,
Could you not talk about the Phantom Menace for that long?
Yeah, I could talk about it.
I'm just saying Phantom Menace because it's the first episode.
Yes, obviously.
I mean, it's the first movie, technically.
Yeah. It would be chronological order of the
technically we would have to go back further, because there's in terms of current canon, there's the Tales of the Jedi series, which is before that.
Yeah.
And then there's Young Jedi Adventures, I think, is set.
Would we include games?
Only games that are currently canon, I would say.
Okay.
So get that KOTOR shit out of here, I'm afraid. I don't think it's canon.
Is it not?
I don't think so.
That's
I think it's. I say KOTOR shit. I don't think they're bad games. I'm just.
I like the original too. I don't have.
Maybe we'll stream them on Twitch one day whenever we start doing that.
Oh fucking hell! Let's go for it. Why not?
Yeah, because we'll have to stream all these Simpsons games at some point as well.
Oh shit! Yeah. So
what was I saying? Why am I talking about Star Wars?
But about the podcast, you said I could probably do it.
Why did I say that?
I don't know.
What was I say? What were we talking about beforehand? You mentioned something, and then I said something, and then
I said about incorrectly that Jim Carrey was a Joker.
I was going to say Batman podcast, and I was like, I couldn't actually do a Batman podcast. I don't know that much.
No.
I've seen those first 4 movies about 100 times each.
Yeah.
And I've seen the Christopher Nolan films a couple of times, and I don't think they're very good.
No.
And I love that 2022 film, and that's about it. And I've seen the one with Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we can pretty much call it there.
Yeah. Okay.
Any final thoughts on the episode, David?
It's a great episode.
I think it's the best one of the season so far for me.
Yeah, definitely.
I know we said that last week when we covered Bart the Daredevil.
It was a good episode, though.
And this is better for me.
But I think this is better.
We'll soon find out when we do the end of season recap.
We'll get there.
15 weeks. 15 to 17 weeks.
Yeah, we'll get there.
This has been Insert Brain here, a Simpsons podcast. I've been your host, Connor, and with me as always has been my co-host, David.
That's me.
You can find us on Instagram at Insert Brain Here Pod. Or on Twitter at T422. You can also find us on YouTube, Spotify, and all major and minor podcast hosts. Check out our website, insertbrainhere.podcastpage.io. Smell you later.
Smell you later.
Bye.
I was really unenthusiastic.
Yep.